Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sideshow Bob. Is it Sideshow or Psycho? The point is I look like him today, but that's irrelevant. We're gonna review The Trust. I stayed up late last night binging it. I don't know if my memory is gonna give me everything. I do have notes and I will be reading them off my phone. But I hope I remember the little nuances in between the notes, you know? Because obviously I don't write everything down. Let's hope for the best. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. So we were left on, I really look like him. Oh my gosh. So we were left on a cliffhanger with Julie deciding to take this mystery offer. Not gonna lie, I'm glad she took it.
$15,000 from the trust is yours to keep if the person you vote for goes home.
I couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it either.
She didn't even peek at the offer. I don't know.
I want to see some more cutthroat behavior on this show. It was giving a little bit too kumbaya from the men's side. And I've been seeing in the comments, there's a few things that I'm going to talk about from the comments. People are like, well, it's okay for Jake to go for the girls because the girls are being scheming and whatever, suspicious and cutting people off. Listen, I hear that. I totally understand it. I see it with my own eyes too. We watching the same show. I still believe in that trust that they had. Jake was giving off misogynistic behavior. He was. Why must you, as a man, be at the forefront of everything? And a woman cannot possibly be smarter than you, be more trustworthy than you. Be like, that is the sentiment that I was walking away with. If that's not how y'all saw it, that's your prerogative. Me personally, his behavior was still giving misogynistic. Was it right in terms of the game? Yeah, because the women are untrustworthy. But did it come across a way? Sure did. To me. Speaking of the women plotting and scheming, they are now putting a plan together to get rid of Bryce because they believe that his confession of being a millionaire isn't coming off as sincere as he is allegedly intending it to be. And it seems like he's more so flaunting his wealth to the women.
This chunk of money that he gets would probably not really even impact him much, honestly.
I had to hide my Louis Vuitton toiletry bag.
Shut up.
Bitch.
He is not part of the real world, and he also doesn't even know he's not. The more he speaks, the more I realize this dude was born into real privilege.
Again, in the comments, there are some split opinions on whether or not he's flaunting his wealth. Some people think he's being sincere. Some other people think he's insincere. Me personally, I don't give a damn. The point is, I'm in a game, if I was there, I'm in a game with somebody who is very clearly more well off than I am. Is he the most well off? Seemingly. We actually don't know what everybody's bank account looks like. But we know he has touched $1 million at some point in his life, and he's only 22. You gotta go. You gotta go. I don't care what the intention was to come clean. I don't care how it was perceived. If I'm playing a game for money, being in the position that I am currently in as of January 18, 2024, the millionaire's gotta go. At the round table, the group wants to know what would be the reason to keep Bryce around. He tried to plead his case. It didn't really land well.
I know that you don't need the money, so what is your why?
Money is just so convoluted. It's not truly what defines me.
Bud, you didn't answer the question at all.
He's here for a reason, some kind of lesson, but he does not have to be ashamed that he has money.
Mama J made the same point that I'm pretty sure I said in the last video. It is not his fault that he's born into money. It's not Julie's fault that she's not born into money. Like, life gives you what life gives you, and you just gotta make do with what's available. And what's available right now is the option to cut a billionaire so that you could get more money. Listen, that is the option that I am taking. And that's exactly what they did. Bryce is out of here. Sayonara. Now, Brian made a comment about Bryce not being cut from the same cloth kind of thing. Mama J took it a way that it wasn't intended. I'm not quite sure how Mama J took it. This is what I'm thinking. Maybe it had to do with his sexuality And she perceived it that way, where he was more so talking about being born in a different lifestyle, having a different upbringing. I don't know. There was some tension between them, and I felt like it was deeper than what we were being shown. I'm not quite sure. But either way, Brian is not happy about it.
He's just a different guy than I normally would have ever met. Just vastly different, just like each one of you.
What did you mean by a bird of different feather? Or whatever you just said.
Winnie, Tolu, and Jay are seemingly coming after us, so we need to now go on the defense.
She will turn your words and use them against you, but she's not that dangerous. If we're going to be successful, I think it makes better sense to go after Winnie and then Jay.
Like I said, I want to see more things that incite some violence. Some violence in terms of gameplay, guys, not physical violence. I want to see more scheming, especially from the men. I'm sorry, this whole like, we're noble, we're doing this for the family, we're not voting anybody out. It was getting boring for me. It really was. The Kumbaya storyline, snooze fest. Let's get to plotting and scheming. Now, who they're plotting and scheming against, at first, I was kind of like, no, why? Not my girls. But as the episode was going on, I was like, ooh, it's not looking good. In the test, they are blindfolded and they have to secretly vote for who they believe is the person telling the most lies, right? So we have Julie, who votes for Jay. Gasper votes for Winnie. Lindsay votes for Winnie. Toli votes for Brian. Winnie votes for Julie. Yeah. Jay votes for Jake, and then Jake voted for Winnie. Now, because Winnie got the most votes, she gets to secretly go into the vault. She doesn't have to tell anybody if she doesn't want to. But before that even happens, she has some choice words to tell the group.
All I'm gonna say is here on out, don't ask me shit about nobody. That's a pussy ass move. So you chose this opportunity to hide like a little bitch. I stand on the shit I've said since day one. If you don't like it, I don't give a fuck.
I'm not sure if I said this in the last video, but I definitely said it on Discord. If you guys are not on Discord, come and hang out with us. Winnie is playing such a low-key game, and the people, up until today, weren't realizing it. She was so trusted by everyone. People would confide in her, and, you know, she would decide what information she would relay back to the girls. But everybody, men included, were relaying their own information to her, which was a great power position to be in as long as people weren't catching on. Unfortunately, the men have caught on. Do I believe that Winnie herself is the mastermind of the group? I don't know. When it first was said, my answer would have been no, but as the season went on, I was like, you know what, maybe. But then I wish we would have seen more of that with Winnie in the first 4 episodes then, because even on Discord, I had said, I'm not seeing enough of Winnie. And then all of a sudden now Winnie is at the helm of everybody who's been going home. I'm like, when did that happen? After the game, everybody's talking about their votes. Some people are telling the truth. Some people are lying. Because of it, there is starting to be a rift between the women. However, before that can even, come to blows, Tolu is upset on Winnie's behalf that Winnie copped votes, so she decides to give the men who she suspects voted for Winnie a piece of her mind.
What's up?
What's up? Why?
Why what?
Jake, let's not play dumb. I'm looking all 3 of you in the eyes and asking why. Like, what's the issue?
You're assuming it was the 3 of us. It might not have been. I get you. Well, just listen.
Okay. Y'all blew her candles out. All of them? I'm done with all of them. And you know who the first to go is? Jake.
Bad decision. Very bad decision. I don't think the issue was her feeling offended on behalf of her friend. The issue was just assuming you knew who it was and then going and, what's the word? The police do it. Going to interrogate them about it without even asking. You could have sat there and said, okay, I'm just doing my deductions and I feel like it would have been you guys who voted. Can I ask why? Girl, was that so hard? Because now you're making yourself look like public enemy number 2 right behind Winnie, even though they were already thinking that. You're not making it a better situation for yourself. And as we know, one of the guys didn't vote for her. It was actually Lindsay who voted for Winnie. So it's just, yeah, totally. This was a bad decision, and this was followed by a myriad of bad decisions. But I will say she did eventually end up apologizing to Brian. They had a really good conversation. When it comes to having a heart-to-heart with somebody, Tolu is good at that. So she had her conversation with Jake earlier. She has her conversation later with Brian. Like, they're able to reconcile, but some things don't have to get to the point that they get to. And you could just ask questions before assuming. In the vault, Winnie is given the offer to take $20K if somebody is sent home. No. Yeah, if somebody is sent home, she gets to stay in the house and the $20K is hers. If nobody is voted out, she goes home still with the $20K. So regardless, she has the $20K. If nobody votes for her, she's going home. If she gets voted out, she's going. Yeah, either way, she was going home, huh? Yeah, either way, she was going home. So honestly, take the money. She doesn't know that the votes are against her, but being in that last trust, seeing that she is distrusted, I would assume that's where she saw her future headed anyway. So take the $20K. The women were wanting to vote out Jake, band together and vote out Jake. Now, I know they keep talking to Julie saying, how are you going to sacrifice your game for him? Whatever, and saying that it's a bad gameplay. You guys are playing a bad game by telling the girl who's showmance. I can't even come up with the words because it doesn't make sense. You're going to go up to who you perceive as your ally, knowing she has the showmance in the house, and tell her, hey, we got to cut your man. And you think it's going to land well? That's how you know these women have now gone on a power trip, because they cannot see 2 feet in front of their face.
$8,000 goes to me if I get somebody out the house.
Oh.
No one goes home, I go home. I needed to keep that number to myself.
So help me understand, $8K and you get to decide who to send home, or you just have to cast a vote?
We have to get somebody to go home.
I'm definitely casting my vote for Jay, because I'm sorry, Whitney cannot go home.
Do you want more days with him? Be honest.
I don't have, there's multiple truths.
She would basically pick Jake over saving my ass. It made me more disappointed and trust her even less.
If nobody goes home, even if it's a tie, Whitney is out this house.
Jake does not like you, babe. He does not see you anything outside of this house.
You or Brian? And honestly, who do you think he would save?
Why would he have to pick?
This whole last chunk of episodes frustrated me to the absolute core. I wanted to root for the girls. Winnie more so than Tolu, but still, whatever. That's my personal opinion. But unfortunately, they've let the power get to their head, and they're doing a lot of missteps. At least they're trying to do some kind of strategy. Is it good strategy? Absolutely not. But it's strategy. The guys were boring for me to watch. They weren't doing anything. So at least now they have a fire under their ass to start making game moves. But yeah, the women have kind of lost touch. And it's so frustrating for me because this is a side conversation. If y'all are very triggered by race, because I know what happens every time I talk about race on this channel, then feel free to skip ahead. Whenever I see Black women specifically on these shows start to show even an iota of frustration, I'm like, well, shit. It's over. Because we know the perception of us on television. I know the perception of me even on YouTube. If I just get a little bit riled up about something, oh my gosh, why are you so aggressive? That is how we are seen. That is how we are perceived. So to see the women, rightfully so, share their frustration, I was like, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. This is very, very bad. I wish they were in a space where they could express themselves without any kind of retribution. But honey, that's just not the world we live in. That is not the house you live in. That is not the show that you are on. Okay? So it is from this moment that I knew, oh, it's done for them. It's over. It's done. So, luckily, Winnie is going around and asking about the votes yet again. And she decides to ask Brian point blank, hey, did you vote for me? He says very respectfully, no, ma'am, I did not. Matter of fact, I didn't even vote. And because he has been a guy who's been following his own honor code, she believes him. And she deduces, oh, it is Lindsay who we need to be looking at. Yeah. All right. Let's move on. In the test, everybody gets to vote for who they think matches the specific questions that were given. All of them were very complimentary. So, of course, you would want to get the votes. The person who got the most votes was Brian. So he's the most favorite in the group. The last question is what started to expose where Whitney stood in the group. I said Winnie, but I think I meant Lindsay. Either Lindsay or Julie.
Who is your most trusted ally at the table? Lindsay.
Oh. He doesn't even pick Julie. That's all I needed to see.
Jake may as well have told everybody in the house that we were working together.
Lindsay, baby, you should have told your allies that you were playing double agent, because how they expose you like that? How did they expose you like that? Later on, we learned that Jake was just trying to throw her a bone because he felt like she deserved to have a chip or two. But how did he not see the optics of voting Lindsay as your most loyal person when Brian and Gasper are right there? Because we know you're not voting for Julie. And that's another thing. Miss Julie, I do know that the women did not handle the conversation correctly, but at the end of the day, they were correct. At every opportunity in the game, you have not been Jake's top option. Not even the second or the third. So why throw away your game for somebody who doesn't see you in the same in the same bracket when it comes to gameplay? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. But anyways, yeah, Jake and Gasper definitely exposed Lindsay. She was up until this point doing a successful job being a double agent, but she had to have known that at some point it was going to bite her in the ass. There was no way you were going to pull the wool over everybody's eyes for the whole season. Absolutely not. So, in the test, they got to earn an extra $25K. And it is only now that I realized that the host doesn't actually update them on how much money is in the trust. I probably wouldn't have been able to do the math, but it would have been interesting to see, like, okay, yeah, we got more. Wait, why are we getting more money, but the pot is not moving? And then you'd have to think, like, have people been secretly taking money? Like, that's what I would want to know, just to sow some seeds of doubt. But I don't know, maybe for season 2, that's what they'll do. Because Jay got the lowest votes in the test, she got to go into the vault.
$25,000 from the trust is mine to keep. Your time in the house will come to an end, and I will take that.
Woo! Just like that.
Just like that.
Do you think it'll be hard to leave, just given the friendships you've made in the house?
Nah, maybe not.
Girl, same. What? You're giving me $20K to leave this toxic ass household today? Bye, I'm going home to my husband. I am going home to my husband. I'm not staying here. Give me the money. They're probably going to cut me anyway, so let me go home. I 100% supported her decision to leave. So now without, what's her name now? Now without Jay in the house, Mama Jay is gone. Tolu and Winnie are on their own. They are in the minority in more ways than one. So the other side of the house is now celebrating. They're now not celebrating, but they're really taking note of the fact that they are now in the majority, and they could make whatever game moves they want to make. It is their prerogative. Problem is, they don't realize that there is a snake among them, and it is not even Lindsay. It is friggin' Julie. The girl is out here with more money as of right now than everybody else, and they don't even know that. Would that bother them? I'm not sure. It seemed like in the preview for the next few episodes, it's gonna start being an issue, but yeah, I don't know. Y'all got a snake in the grass. Y'all looking at the wrong people. So anyways, because Winnie knows she's on her way out, she decides to give some parting words before they go to the vote.
Well, why would Lindsay blow out my candle?
because you've been playing both sides. You're the biggest snake in here, and you played it very well.
And we thought that we were gonna be one big old happy family, not knowing that there was a real villain in this house.
Lindsay not even defending herself at all. If someone was attacking me like that, I probably would have wanted to defend myself. If I was telling the truth, I'd have nothing to hide.
I will say, for Winnie and Tolu to say, well, we're looking at the family, and how could the family do this to us? How can the family want to tear us apart? How can the family want to point finger? I'm sorry, you can't weaponize the family now that you want it to work in your favor, because you've been against the family the whole season. Okay? You can't now turn around and say, well, how could the family do this to me when I've been doing this to the family the whole time? It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry, it doesn't. It doesn't. I did like, however, that they spun a very good narrative about Lindsay, and Lindsay did not rebut it at all. She was looking hella suspect, and I'm like, girl, I know you do not like conflict, but this is the time to plead your case. Are you dumb? You need to speak. Girl, say anything. Even if you're waffling, at least you're making an attempt. But she's just sitting there rocking back and forth because, again, like she said in the first episode, it makes her feel comfortable. No, babe, it doesn't. It makes you look suspicious. Stop doing it. Ultimately, the person who was eliminated, though, was Winnie. So the speech didn't help in this specific case, but Lindsay ends up being incriminated more as the episode goes on. So because Brian got so many votes in the last trust that they did, he gets to now go to the vault, but it's not a secret one. He could tell everybody what he wants to do.
Some of these offers can be very, very lucrative, but there's a risk involved. I can't give a risk to anyone out there, especially on a random. $30,000 from the trust is yours to keep, but you must randomly block 3 people's votes.
The 3 random votes that have been blocked are Julie, Brian, and Jake's votes. At first I was thinking, okay, well, this is great for Tolu because it's likely that the 2 guys were going to vote her out next because she and Winnie were in cahoots, you know what I'm saying? But it might not even need to be a thing. It looks like Tolu gets in good with them later on. We'll touch on that. Julie and Jake are having a little powwow in the pool, just talking about where they see things going between them.
You make me feel safe, you make me feel secure, and I'm like, yeah, I want you to feel safe, secure.
You guys ready for this? If you don't vote for Tolu,
Fox.
I know.
You have to. It's 5-1.
Maybe Tolu will vote and I will not, and then those votes will cancel each other out.
Now the boys are making me feel like I have to vote for her because they're worried about their place.
Girl, if you don't wake the hell up, I don't know Jake. Maybe Jake is able to separate game and personal. But me, personally, I would take every game move he made against me personal. I would. What do you mean? Like, I'm the person who you like, you know, I'm the person who you want to pursue. Maybe you could see us being something outside of the house, yet in the game, you don't respect me as a game player, as an ally, as somebody who's on your side. They treat her as a number. And it was so clear when the guys came around, they're talking about what they want to do. She's trying to plead her case for her friend. They don't care. They're not listening to her at all. She is just a number and she does not see it. I'm like, girl, okay. Anyways, Lindsay doesn't appreciate how the last few days have been going for her, and so she decides to air out her grievances with her own allies.
Hey, Tolu, do you mind just giving us 10 more minutes? I don't mean to exclude you. Real quick.
I can't imagine, you know, sitting in a house where you feel like everybody hates you. I just don't like when people are mean.
I don't believe you guys are willing to make hard decisions, which is fine. We all have separate values. Those girls suddenly knew what was up, and that was shitty. I blew out that candle, and it was supposed to be a mystery. We can live with an air of mystery without lying.
She's another one who needs to open her eyes. Because if there's one thing we've learned about the guys, they will not go against the family unless given a reason to. You're giving them a reason. You're giving them a reason. You're basically saying, well, F you guys, if you're going to allow me to be in the line of fire and not protect me and whatever. Well, if you feel this way as your ally, I'm going to think you're going to turn on me the first chance that you get. Lindsay, girl, come on. Winnie just gave them a play-by-play of how your game has been against theirs. And then now you are making it seem like you are, in fact, against them. That's not good. These people, can we have people in season 2 who actually know how the game goes now, because now we've seen season 1, and who choose to play strategically, because the strategic acumen in this season is nil point. Is nil point even the right phrase? It's non-existent. That's what I'm trying to say. In the trust, they are given envelopes that contain all their votes that they have casted in the season. It is up to you whether or not you want to share. With every shared envelope, you put $5,000 into the trust. And then if everybody does it, it is doubled. So everybody, some hesitantly, decided to do it.
I voted for Juelz, Bryce, and Winnie.
Lindsay's revealing this long list of, let's face it, dead bodies. Why didn't she bring this up to us?
At the end of the day, a certain individual was always playing a game, and they're still playing a game.
And I'm like, shit, I think Tolu's actually telling us the truth.
The men are now seeing, wait, hold on. The girls who are on our side might not be as trustworthy as we think they are. But then here they go on the moral thing again, saying, well, if we're going to get people out because they were voting, we voted too. So I guess that doesn't really work. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Okay. I could not play with all these noble, loyal people in a game. Like in real life, of course, these are great attributes to have. In a game, cut these people off. What do you mean? So anyways, Lindsay again is in hot water and chooses to just eat it. She did kind of push back to against Tolu, but not addressing what Tolu was actually saying about her. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. At the end of the episode, at the round table, Lindsay finally decides to share the reasons why she made the decisions she made in the game so far.
When I came into this house, I did not fit into either group. I know I've said this before. I also was immediately drawn to the females. They turned on me. Now, I proved by not voting for Simone that I'm not just out to take everybody out. I'm not here to rat people out. I'm not here to be a snake. I'm here for self-preservation first, so I can help the team second.
That's also how I view the world, and that's all I've had.
What
is
good am
myself
I if I'm not
first.
taking care of myself?
It's so funny watching Julie be like, guys, you know, we understand what she went through. Let's not villainize her. Sometimes we have to do what we have to do to protect ourselves. Yeah, of course you would say all of that because you know you have the biggest bank as of right now. Of course. And all these people are just here like, yeah, Julie is a number for us. No, she's not. No, she's not. She already went against you when she took that money for herself and decided to keep quiet. Anyways, imagine my surprise. When Lindsay gets voted out, I was actually shocked. I didn't think she would. And the reason why she's out is because, well, she voted for Tolu, obviously. Tolu voted for her, obviously. Gasper voted for Lindsay because he felt like there was a poison in the group. And in order to be a harmonious family, you got to get rid of the poison. And Lindsay was that. So, all right. The next batch of episodes, I'm not quite sure how much it's going to be. They explore Julie's secret vault session. So I'm interested to see how the people are going to react to that. Because me personally, you'd have to go. The same way we wanted to vote out the person who seemingly had the biggest bank. As of the group, if we're leaving with the prize money, you seemingly have the biggest amount of money in your bank. So you gotta go. Anyways, as always, please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.